Okay, this is the time where you gotta let me talk to you about this. All right, with the number 5 selection in the 2020 NBA draft, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, and this part of it is very loaded because we don't know what Cleveland wants to do. Cleveland seems all over the place, but not necessarily all over the place in confusion, just about how everything will come together. But in my personal opinion, this is what the Cavs big board look like. Number 1, draft center James Wiseman. Number 2, draft guard Anthony Edwards. 3, trade Kevin Love's contract. 4, draft center Onyeka Okongwu. 5, draft Obi Toppin. 6, trade up. Or last resort, draft forward Isaac Okoro. Alright, here's my logic. Listen, this is actually up for debate. Are the Cavs really rebuilding? Cleveland fans might actually get to see what a good general manager can do for an organization. I personally like Kobe Altman. I think he has the right intentions in mind. He has already publicly stated that the Cavs plan to contend for an NBA title sooner rather than later. So I think we will see him be aggressive during this offseason. Believe it or not, the Cavs actually have enough assets, young and old players, to not only make a splash during this offseason, but they could actually contend if done properly. At number 5, there will still be quality talent available, but the Cavs must first figure out a team playstyle identity. The Cavs are very high on last year draft picks Kevin Porter Jr. and Dylan Windler. They aren't sure about the duo of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton, meaning it is possible one gets traded during the draft. The organization seems to be very intrigued by the idea of cementing Garland and Porter Jr. as the backcourt of the future, but Colin Sexton is more of a fan favorite than Garland. They also signed young big man Jordan Bell during the quarantine hiatus, and they traded for defensive big man Andre Drummond mid-season in a trade with the Detroit Pistons. They also have Kevin Love, Larry Nance Jr., and Cedi Osman under contract for the next 3 years. So the biggest question is, if this isn't a rebuild, what is the retooling strategy? The Cleveland Cavaliers have been rumored to be interested in trading for Philadelphia star guard Ben Simmons, and have been rumored to inquire about Chicago star guard Zach LaVine. Could the Cavs pull off blockbuster trades that land them not only one, but both rising stars? Could you imagine a lineup with Simmons, LaVine, Love, and Drummond, with possibly Kevin Porter Jr. as the small forward star of the future? The Cavs have this year's pick and a pick in 2022 or 2021 first rounder from Milwaukee. That plus Garland or Sexton or whatever other combination of players. I mean, could that be enough? Will they actually do it? All right, let's look at the scenario. Trading for Ben Simmons will likely cost them Garland. And I say it will cost them Garland because Philadelphia seems to be high on Garland, which is, I believe, how the rumor started in the first place. Now, initially, I was saying, well, if they trade for Garland, then Cleveland will probably have to add Kevin Love and a high draft pick. And if Kobe Altman's smart, he would try not to trade this year's draft pick and probably give him next year's draft pick. All right, which to me would be smart. But Love going over there would be kind of tricky because they already have Tobias and Horford and Embiid. And Horford and Embiid already make $100 million. Tobias make $100 million. All right, Garland would lessen the blow, but adding Love, who still is making about $90 million, wouldn't help. Love can't really play the 3. He can really only play the 4. Horford can only play the 4 or 5. Joel Embiid is only play the 5. All right, Tobias Harris can play the 3 or 4. But you know, I don't know. All right, Love's contract could make the money work, but like I say, his place on the team would make it a little sketchy. All right. And Cleveland will probably have to add something a little more to make the trade seem more worthy. All right. Trading for Zach LaVine will probably cost them multiple draft picks. and or a player like Larry Nance Jr. or Chetty Osman's contract to make the money work out properly. At this point, if they pulled off both trades, they would not have a pick in this year's draft or in 2022 because there's a restriction that you can't trade your first round picks in back-to-back years. I actually kind of like that. It's not a good. It's a very good thing. It keeps teams from doing stupid stuff because everybody don't have logical thinking when they trying to make blockbuster trades and get their team better. Like, people don't think these things all out. Okay, let's just say they don't have enough to trade for Simmons. Then I really wouldn't be shocked if they would try to package a player in the 5th pick and then try to get Zach LaVine. Now, that's not something that I would suggest them to do or be welcoming to per se, but you know, who knows, all right? Now, the other scenario I had is the Cavs could trade Drummond for Wiggins in the number 2. Now, if the Cavs get the number 2 pick, I don't think they would hesitate to draft guard Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. Then at 5, I could see them taking Onyeka Okongwu, all right? And because they would be then traded Drummond, and then, you know, it seems like they're probably not going to bring back Tristan Thompson. You already got Larry Nance and Jordan Bell on the roster, so you would definitely need a young center, all right? But, you know, the idea of probably having Garland, Porter Jr., Edwards, Love, and Okongwu is not bad. It's actually very good. I mean, you will be able to bring Colin Sexton off the bench, I would think, with Chetty Osman, Larry Nance Jr., and Jordan Bell. And to be honest, you know, that would make the Cavs look very nice. That would be very, very savvy move by Kobe Altman if he was to choose to do that. All right. Now, here's a outside scenario, something that is really kind of a continuation or a lingering effect from talks that happened a couple years ago. All right. And a scenario I think is possible is Cavs could try to offer Kevin Love, Chetty Osman, and probably 2 second-round picks to get Kelly Oubre, Dario Saric, and the number 10 pick from Phoenix. Now, Phoenix is in win now mode. Kevin Love could be the vet piece with his skill set that could put that team over the hump. Chetty is still young and could provide good role player versatility for the team. Both have championship experience. Phoenix isn't looking to add young players per se, I don't think. But Kevin's contract could be a major concern for the Suns given Love's age. The Cavs having the 5 and 10 picks could do a number of things, but likely they would probably try to move up to draft a Wiseman or Edwards, right? But most likely trade scenario, knowing the Cavaliers organization, how things usually happen, how crazy things play out, is my belief that most likely the Cavs would be at 5 and they will probably draft Isaac Okoro from Auburn. Now, I say that because Isaac Okoro is very athletic. He has a lot of potential. He has a little handle, definitely has D. He's very athletic, can get above the rim, can open shots, pick and roll defense. He cool. So, you know, you add him and put him at the 3. And I would say he would start at the 3 automatically because Chetty Osman just hasn't seemed to grow like we thought he would. But me personally, I think Chetty's growth has a lot to do with the mismanagement of front office management in the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. All right. So, like I said, they will probably look to get a Wiseman or an Edwards. Definitely going to look to try to get rid of Love's contract. It's an outside chance that they could probably trade Andre Drummond to move up in the draft because he's probably the most attractive piece they have to get in a position like that. And, you know, if all those fails, they could draft, like I say, Isaac Okoro. And, you know, you'll have Okoro with Garland, Porter Jr., Love, Drummond, Sexton. Like that is very interesting and very intriguing. It is also good to note that The Cleveland Cavaliers only have this one draft pick in the draft. All right. So I'm of the mind that if your name is not Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Kevin Porter Jr., Dylan Windler, you are available for trade. That's what I believe. You are available for trade. If you are not one of the picks from the last couple seasons, you are available for trade. Even those they re-signed. All right. And I think Jordan Bell, because Jordan Bell, you won't even be able to trade him right now because you just signed him. And I don't think his 6 months would even end until sometime whenever the season started next year. So they wouldn't even be able to offer him up until the beginning of the season. But he fits well with what they have already. So that is my predictions for the first five picks so far. We're going to get into picks 6 through 10 shortly.